Hi, Kalyani. This is wonderful for us to be able to connect again, you being in
Yes.
Singapore and me being here in Pune. I'd like to introduce Kalyani Vaidya. She is a Mensan, and we've known each other for, I think, almost about a decade and a half, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, so, Kalyani, today I would like to address and talk about giftedness and sports.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sports is something that many people, whether it's parents, whether it is schools, normally would like to put it on the side track rather than on the forefront. But I have seen that you have been very passionate about sports and you continue to pursue in different forms, even in your life now as a young mother of two young kids, balancing family, work, being you guys have your own Spotify and Instagram, I think upbringing it's called, on
Yes.
parenting.
It's a podcast.
Uh, it's a podcast, yeah,
It's called
sorry.
Partners in Upbringing.
Wow. I think the initiatives that you've taken, it's all very diverse and it's really wonderful. So why don't you just introduce yourself and your interests, and then we'll take it forward.
Sure, sure. By profession, if you ask me, I'm an MBA, but at heart, as you rightly mentioned, I like to try new things. And being a mother of two, it gives me immense scope to try and do something new every day. I'm based in Singapore, and I run a parenting podcast called Partners in Upbringing. Apart from that, as a mother, I really uh, like to explore, like to ride my road bike, and whenever
Wow.
possible get back to sport, because I owe a lot to sport. Because today who I am, whenever I go in a meeting room, there are many people who introduce themselves as engineers, MBAs, doctors, but there are very few people who actually introduce them as sportsmen as well. And that really helps to connect with other people and give you a different kind of identity. So it's always been a very positive thing for me, and I'm very proud of it.
Wow, fantastic. I think let's talk about the sport that you have been doing. You've gone to be the national player as well, right?
Yes.
So,
I
volleyball.
yes, I played volleyball for my school, state, at the national level, and even during my graduation and post graduation at the university level. And
Fantastic.
I did win a few medals here or there, but
Okay.
I could not take it up as a career in itself. So career wise, I was into media and many other things.
Okay. So, when did you really realize that you have it in you to, be top-notch sports person?
See, when we look back, generally we talk about it as being talented at sport. But when I was 12 years old, all I knew was I enjoyed sport. All I knew was I was good at the basic motor skills of, throwing the ball, catching it, accuracy, strength wise. And I was not the best even in my class when it came to running or some other type of motor skills. But I knew I was good. I knew that there were many people who was much better, who were outside my school zone, and I wanted to be there. And there's an
Okay.
immense drive to actually dedicate time and effort to be there. So I knew I was good, but I think what made a difference when I look back was the amount of hours I spent to practice and better myself.
Yeah, I know that it can be very rigorous because you need to get up early morning and go for your warm-ups and your
Yes,
exercises, and then you used to have even evening practices. So you guys
absolutely.
come straight from school, and then again you would have about 2 hours of rigorous practice, and then of course missing school and going for events and stuff like that. So how was it really? Because um, even today, where it's very difficult for parents to make the choice of letting go of academics when a child has to miss school to go for sports. So how did your parents take it, and how did you pursue it basically?
Yes. Actually, it was never a choice as to academic versus sport. It was always together. It was always a practice that keep a regularity with your homework, with your reading, because nothing can be done in one day. So
Absolutely.
every week it was academics as well as sport. And luckily I had good support from my family, because my mom herself was a sportsman. My elder
Okay.
brother, my mom was a national level handball player, and
Oh,
my elder brother was into athletics. So I had seen that his name used to appear in newspapers, and I was like, I want to get there sometime.
yeah.
That was a continuous support, because they used to keep on encouraging me,
Mhm.
and it was never a choice, it was always together. Because unfortunately in India, to have a complete career in sports was difficult then, and it's still difficult now. Now of course you have a lot of institutes wherein this is possible. You have that ecosystem of experts, training coaches, and it can be done. But even for people whom it is not possible, pursuing sport at whatever level you can always helps. And I think that is what has given me a lot of confidence and happiness in life.
I agree with you on saying that sports is given a lot. It kind of helps. I personally believe, especially in pre-adolescent and adolescent, when people are in sports, it
Mhm.
kind of gives a very good stabilizing factor for you, because
Yes.
physically you're very active. At the same time, there is an expanse of energy, and there is also focus, balancing academia as well. And I'd like to bring the point that focusing on sports as well as your schoolwork, and how do you really balance that? Many a times when people take sports, they let go of academics, or they choose that they will downplay sports because academics takes precedence. To have both, then I think you need to have a good structure, and you have to have a commitment to look at both equally and give importance where and when needed, basically. So I think you've been.
What you're saying is absolutely true. And as a parent, now that I have two kids, I know it's very tough to, keep on chasing them, do your sport, do your academics. Then how does it work? It's too much stress. But I think, what kept me going as a child was, uh, I mean, before I go to that, I would like to say that I I was being regular helped me to get a decent score of maybe around 80s. But in my own team, my own teammates, there were people who really excelled in academics and got
That's
90s
just
as well. So it is possible, but immense planning goes in there. And what kept me going as a child was that I enjoyed it, and I got something which was much more than what I knew about the world. So whenever we traveled for tournaments, it gave me a chance to be a team member, to understand other people, to visit remote places like Nanded, Beed, Wardha, and these are very small towns in Maharashtra. And at the age of 13 and 14, I was stepping out there. I was stepping out of my comfort zone. And I came from a very privileged family, and it was kind of a protected environment, as always.
yeah.
But I these experiences gave me real life lessons. It showed me that there is so much more that we don't know. So it was not only sport, it was not only competing, but it was also getting exposure, different experiences, which really enriched me. And today, apart from all these experiences, it gave me amazing friends, because I'm not a very social person. So if you ask me, I have about 4 or 5 of my school friends who I'm still in touch with, but I'm in touch with all of my volleyball friends. So it's given me lifelong friendship. And that is another thing which I really cherish. And I'm grateful to sport for that.
That this is something, you know, a very good point that you brought out. As such, gifted have a problem making friends.
Oh,
Yeah. And yeah, socializing is something which is very awkward, and sometimes you find it very difficult to express yourself. Uh, and sports give a natural platform for you to make. And then, of course, there is arguments, fights, disagreements. But in all that, you find people whom you connect as well. And I know you're that I was smiling because I remember that your volleyball group is like a family, second family. You guys always like to meet whenever possible. And I think the loudest noise of chatter chitter happens when you guys meet at that time. So yes, that also really helps. I was just wondering, like you rightly put, for a privileged person to go to these small places. Today, if from the parenting point of view, I have parents who still ask ki, security, what is it about the security? Because whether it's male or female, it's irrespective. You know, as a child, what is security? How safe? How to let go? How to allow them to learn to take care of themselves and be responsible at a very young age. It must have been tough. And now that you're a parent, and would you still today believe and let your kids go if they were given an
It,
opportunity?
I completely understand, and a very valid point actually, because safety wise, it's always a big question when you're traveling because everything is out of your control. But I remember that that's maybe what got us close. We had very stringent rules among us as a team, that this allowed, this is not allowed. And there were compromises made on the quality of food served, on the quality of the accommodation
Safe, yeah.
there, on the people we met, but we never complained about it. And the negative side, sometimes we never told our parents also, because we were scared they'll not allow us for the next tournament. Because that was the real world which we got to experience. And we started small within the city tournaments. Every step gave us a different level of confidence. So that is what made, I think, me independent. And I remember at the age of 16, I was a part of a team which went to Solapur in Maharashtra. And there was this mom of a 12-year-old. She came and said that I'm sending my daughter only because you are there. I know that you'll take care of my daughter. I was like, I am just 16. But that is the kind of discipline and security which we had built within the team. We never had a parent who traveled with us. And we always had a coach, but he was a male coach, so he used to stay in some other accommodation. So we were on our own, but we were all responsible girls and we could manage ourselves. Now, as a parent, I don't know how much I'll allow my child because now it's too much information. I mean, with a mobile, I need to sort of know what he's doing every hour. But then it was not so. So it was a trunk call which went once a day or maybe alternate days. But I think it's the technology which is driving more insecurity than the people, because I completely am a believer that you'll meet 1,000 good people and one bad person. So if you're able to be in a group, if you're able to make the right connections, understand people. Yes, we had bad experiences, that boys teasing us, especially we were all teenage girls, but we knew how to ignore that. We knew how to shut our eyes or shut our ears and walk away from such a situation. And it was always in a public place. So there was no loneliness, there was no scare of anybody coming and actually uh, taking our privacy or something.
I know technology has brought a lot of opportunities. At the same time, it's brought in a lot of distractions and dissociations as well. And if we really don't know how to use it to the best of our goal and purposes, then it really kind of brings in a lot of insecurity. If you ask me, more than security, it brings a lot of insecurity. I've made 10 calls and my child is not reachable. It could just be that the child, it was on silent, it was in the bag, and they got caught and they were not talking or something. You don't have to imagine a whole lot of things. But then, yes, it does kind of made parents more jumpy and more nervous nowadays than before. Well, I mean, I'm sure we can talk on that topic. That's another very big topic.
Yes.
But coming back, being a Mensan, what has it been to you?
I was very lucky that when I was I think 13 or 14 years of age, there was this Mensa test in my school. And that is when I realized it gave me a lot of confidence actually, because till then I was like, not sure, can I do this? Can I do that? Why am I thinking the way I'm thinking? And then once I knew I was a Mensan and I was meant to be different, or maybe, I can do anything if I really put effort into, that's the way I comprehend a Mensan. uh, it was amazing. Then I could believe myself more. And at the same time, we did have a few teachers also who came from outside the syllabus, and they completely spoke about something which was not there in academics. So they were more on the life skills part. There were just only a few sessions, but that sort of opened my eyes up to new possibilities. So being a Mensan, I think, helped me majorly with confidence. And that's what I still carry with me till this date.
Wow. I recall you saying that you are, using your talent in different areas, sports being one of them, but now you're into this podcast. And then I see a lot of pictures of how creative you are when you explore with your kids. So can you share light about all the other aspects that in spite of being an MBA, and you can make a choice of being a hardcore working professional, but you've chosen different areas and still enjoy it so much. So can you share something about that?
All these things actually came because of a lot of challenges which I faced on a family front. So I moved from Pune to Singapore about 8 years ago, and the kind of restrictions that trailing moms or trailing women have for work sort of puts them back, because you can't work in some countries. Then once you have children, that becomes your priority, and a mom is expected to do everything and know everything for the kids. So these kind of things can really put you back. But then maybe because of sport, because being a Mensan or something, you have to float in life, you have to be happy. And it is these kind of circumstances that actually led me to find something which fits in the kind of time and money and space I have. So it was not that I wanted to do this, but in the circumstances, this is the best I could do. And trying new things sometimes gives you a lot of anxiety, but I'm happy that I never feel ashamed of telling anybody, okay, I don't know how this thing works. Can you teach me? So that tomorrow, at least I can know how it works. Because especially if you're going to use technology for your business or for your anything, for your entertainment as well, it keeps on changing so fast. So I don't know whether I answered your question, but this is how I started with different things. And my kids are, they lead me actually, because as many people say, we are all born perfect, and it is all the societal pressure and restrictions and the way we are nurtured that changes us. So now that my kids are very young, I try to follow them, and then I realize that life is so simple, happy, and actually easy. But it's us parents and the society which tries to make it very complicated. So I've stopped chasing money, and luckily I'm fortunate enough that my husband earns enough. So I don't
You've
have to
accepted that is enough.
Yes, and
that's the biggest thing, I guess.
Yes, and I don't really feel guilty that I'm not contributing to the family fund.
Fantastic.
Sometimes I do feel that I should do something professionally, but that is more to challenge myself to satisfy my sort of ambition or training or whatever it is. But it's lesser on the money front. Whatever he's earning, I've sort of made peace with it.
Good.
Because there are other aspects to it also. Because if I keep on chasing money, then who takes care of the happiness part of it? Now, currently, the way me and husband are clear on our terms is he takes care of money, I take care of how to spend it and where to spend it. So the happiness or the balance in life part of it. So that's our understanding, and it's really working for us.
it's a very beautiful thing and much needed in today's time that you've really shared, because these are struggles of not just gifted, but any young adult who's married and has kids, and who are struggling to find a balance. And it's very tempting for us to choose um, comforts, more material things at home, things that we can offer in terms of better schools, better toys, better clothes, more clothes, all those things.
Yeah.
But there's somewhere we need to, like you truly said, happiness. I'm sensing and getting a feeling of, you seem to be more mature beyond years. And I can also kind of see that you've been very observant during your growing years, and all these visits to different schools in different cities, where you have to really know the constraints that people are going through. And you being in one spectrum of, let's say, being privileged, and then you go to villages and places where people don't have, and to be able to see what really one needs, and to reach wherever you want to go. And it is a tough choice. It's not easy, because every time you come across where people have put other priorities which are different from yours, you do get influenced. Oh, maybe I should just put my children in the creche and move on. I know I am more
Absolutely.
talented. I can
It's very
do
tempting.
something. Yeah, I know. I understand. Yeah.
Because dealing
But
with kids is not easy. They have very high demands. They keep on questioning you nonstop. And sometimes you feel these are such pity questions. I'm not getting anything back, because
yeah.
you're just cleaning them, feeding them, running after them sometimes. It can be draining. I completely understand. There are days in which I also feel the same. But when I just zoom out, I feel so lucky that I'm getting time to spend with them and with other family members as well. Had I
As
been
well.
working, it was impossible.
I'm going to ask you one small question. In the two kids, do you find any traits of any kid of yours, or both of them, showing signs of being talented and gifted?
The kind of questions they ask, the kind of logic which they give for every choice they make is really interesting.
Okay. Can you
But
give an example?
uh, basically, okay, let me just this might not sound some example which is very common, but recently we had a very sad one of my family members passed away, and I didn't know how to break the news to my child. So for the first 2 days I kept on postponing as to I don't want to tell him that. But then finally he's 6 years old, so I said he has to know, because he was very close to his grandfather, and his grandfather passed away. So I told him the news, and he of course cried a lot. And then he first thing is asked, how is my grandmother? Is she fine? Will she be fine, or will she also have some disease? And we said that she's okay. Then immediately the next minute he said, can I sometimes pretend that my grandpa is alive and he's playing with me? Can we do a pretend play? And I was like, amazing, yes. Because as grown-ups, we don't know how to get out of such situations, but he had a solution to it. And then after 10 minutes, he came and said, I'm not feeling good. What can I do to make myself happy? And I was like, my goodness, this is resilience. And this is what all of us adults should also do, because every situation, how to come out of it. And then, I mean, I don't know whether this is giftedness or something, but all these kids are so special. And if we observe, we come to know that there's so much to learn from them. Yeah. So this was a very recent incident, and it really shook me to the core. That's why I thought it's interesting to share with everybody.
I think it is also to do with the way you've been reflective towards your children. And I think they are imbibing, but it's quite possible that he himself is a sensitive and empathetic child. For him to be able to see, and yes, like you rightly said, it's unusual for them to not talk about the person of loss, but also talk about the person who's here right now and find
Yes.
how he or she is doing. So yeah, maybe. I know it's too early. I was just I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just
My
trying
daughter
to.
is just 3, so
Yeah. No, I was just trying to,
yes, yes, yes.
seeing some connection, because you said there is some sports in the family, your brother
Yeah.
and your mom. So do these
For
children show
both of them,
interest?
it's like physical activity is like compulsory now. They don't have an option because this is the age I believe they need to build
Yeah.
their strength and be really active physically.
Yeah. I
Sport
think
can follow later, but physical fitness needs
this
to
is very
always be
important.
there. And one thing which I would definitely like to mention is that apart from all the soft skills or leadership skills or whatever life skills I have got from sport, the amount of physical fitness which I still maintain, not even if I don't exercise very regularly now, is amazing. I mean, both my pregnancies were very smooth. My deliveries were very good. I have a lot of energy to play with my kids. And initially, I thought that okay, I'm just 35, so it has to be there. But if I look around, the other moms who have not been into sport, I see them struggling, especially with pregnancies. And that is another reason why I really, really thank everybody who helped me work out and have a good physical fitness level in my teens and throughout my college.
Yeah. I like that you bring it out, because when we having worked with gifted kids, I've seen that when they are so charged about just mental abilities, things that they love doing, math, science, social sciences, whatever, let's say academics, then physical skills, something they rarely explore. They would like to be couch potatoes as far as possible. They'd give you hajar reasons why they don't want to be active, fit. We're not talking even about sports, but knowing that and understanding from you that it's played such a great influence. Yes, you enjoyed it, but then you also are able to see the benefits of what it is for the long term,
Yes.
and that's really very good, because
just
we.
just small things like so many of my friends have very frequent headaches, very frequent tummy upsets, allergies. Now that can come through different sources. I know I don't have the medical background to justify that, but throughout, I mean, as I said, pregnancies were the biggest test for my body, and I could sail through that. And it's really amazing to see how the body transforms.
I will ensure that we talk more, we will emphasize more on sports, if not sports, physical fitness, which we do in most of our nurturing programs in Kaveri Gifted Education Research Center. I know we can go on talking, and it was lovely to catch up and touch about many topics, starting from, what it is to be in a teen and make decisions, the kind of strength that you need to gain from strange, unknown places and people, and at the same time now moving away from the city where you have grown and trying to find your own space in Singapore and still maintain whatever you have kind of imbibed and learned. I'm really very happy to see that you are trying to, like, at every situation, find a new way of seeing and being creative about it and being very accepting of the situation, which really takes a lot, because it's not easy to accept very easily the challenges that come. You'd rather want to whine, cry, delay, ponder, think of multiple solutions, but not take a decision. So all these things many people struggle with. So thank you so much, Kalyani. It was wonderful. And this
Thanks,
is the
Devsina,
topic we've
because
been wanting to talk about, sports, because academia, there are a lot of people, and we know and we hear in different communities that we all come from. But this is a topic which I felt was really very, very important.
thank you so much. It gave me an opportunity to be nostalgic, go back to my days of sport, and again give me energy to restart that, because though I do other fitness things, I really want to get back to volleyball once again.
Oh, wow, good. All the very best, and
Thank you so much.
we will be in touch. Thank you so
Sure.
much. Yeah.
You.
Bye. Yeah.